Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and family. Welcome once again to the Abundant Way Ministries Tuesday evening empowerment session
Good evening.
series.
Good evening.
So today is March 4th, 2025, and we are starting um a new series, a new
Yeah.
episode.
Welcome to March.
Yeah, the first episode of a new series.
March Madness.
So if you have not been with us since the beginning of the year, we started off so that you know, just to be clear, this is our empowerment year. And the Abundant Way Ministries is, in fact, an economic empowerment based ministry. We are a marketplace ministry. So do not be confused. Um,
Your
we
phone decides to chime in. Okay.
So don't get us wrong. We love church. We love to worship God. Um, we are Christian. We are a Christian based, faith based ministry. But this is not a church. We are an economic empowerment marketplace ministry, and this year is dedicated towards empowering you
Mhm.
so that you can overcome economic oppression, so that you can overcome whatever it is that's holding you back, because we need for each and every one of us um, to have that power
Mhm.
that God spoke about in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 18, when he said, "Don't you ever forget that it was me who gave you the power to get wealth." And gaining this wealth is not just about having money,
Oh.
it's about having freedom and establishing ourselves in our rightful place, having generational wealth so that our our children and our children's children don't have to keep starting over from scratch, from ground zero. So we are all about empowering our community. We started off this year talking about vision and purpose,
Mhm.
right? And then that was in January. Then in February, we started talking about mental empowerment, breaking free from mental strongholds. And in the month of March, we are starting off talking about physical empowerment,
Mhm.
physical wellness. And that's important for the overall vision, because if we are not healthy,
Mhm.
if our bodies are not strong, if we're not good stewards over our physical beings, then we won't be as valuable to God or the kingdom of God as we could be. So
Mhm.
it's very important. Um, and I think this is one area that we as a people, especially as a Christian faith based people, who are so into church,
Mhm.
haven't really done that well with. I mean, we good at going to church and praising the Lord and worshiping and throwing up our hands, running around the building, shouting and singing. We do that well, but if you look around, there's so many people who are sick,
Mhm.
overweight,
Mhm.
dealing with high blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes, all up in the church,
You name it.
right?
Yeah.
And that is not exemplary of what God would have us, how God would have us to be. That does
Mhm.
not represent God well. And so we have to understand that our bodies are temples
Mhm.
of the Holy Spirit. And God gave us these bodies. In fact, I want to say that's the second thing that he gave us. Ooh, that's hard. So when I think about Genesis in the
Mhm.
beginning, when God created man,
Mhm.
one account says he formed man out of the dust of the earth.
Mhm.
So there you see a body.
Yeah.
And then he
The shed.
breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
Mhm.
So if I listen to that, it sounds like the body was formed first.
Yeah.
So if that's the first thing that God gave you, then it is in your best interest to take care of it, to be a good steward of it.
Mhm.
because we cannot fulfill the vision and the purpose that we talked about in January if we're sick, if we're dead.
Right.
All right. So that's what we're talking about.
Huh. Now that you bring that up, I look at it, this is really actually going to be good. Because when you said the words, he breathed life,
You breathe the breath of life.
breath of life into these shells.
Mhm.
So actually, with that breath, he's inside of us. Holy
Mhm.
Spirit's inside of God is inside of us. He's within us. And so if we are not taking care of the shell,
Mhm.
we are dishonoring
Mm.
him.
Mm. Man. So it's just like if God blessed you with a nice house,
Mm-hmm.
but you won't keep it clean.
Mm-hmm.
He blessed you with a nice car, but you won't do the maintenance.
Mhm.
You won't get the oil changed. You won't get you won't wash it. You won't
Mhm.
keep it clean. You won't get the tires rotated. You
Mhm.
won't get the brakes serviced. The same is true with our bodies. God gave us brand new bodies
Mhm.
the day we
Yeah.
were born.
Yeah.
And it's just our responsibility to maintain it.
Mhm.
You know, just as you would your automobile, your house, or whatever thing you deem to be valuable,
Mhm.
your body is that much more valuable, and we've got to keep it in pristine condition so that it operates at its highest level of efficiency. You want your car to run,
Mhm.
and you want it to run well. When you hit that gas pedal, you want it to go.
Right.
You don't want it to
Right.
right? You've
Yeah.
experienced that a few weeks ago.
Yeah. When they talk about cars, I don't even talk about cars.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
like, if I have something else go wrong with my car, but it's the same way with the bodies. When you have issues with the car, it's indicating something is wrong.
Something's wrong.
You got to fix something in order for it to operate the way it did when you first got it.
You know what though? Oh, this is really good. Yes, you've had some issues with your car over the past few years. I mean,
Last few months.
you've changed that catalytic converter I don't know how many times. And then if it wasn't the catalytic converter, it was the starter.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't the starter, it was the park assist thing.
I ain't feeling that ever.
If it's not that, it's something else. And then all the while, you still have to get your oil changes.
The
You still
brakes.
have to get new tires.
Mhm. Yep,
You
I got
still
that.
have to get brakes.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? And you're pretty good about keeping up with that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it's just the same is true with our bodies.
Mhm.
Like many of us don't even like to go to the doctor. So when you see something wrong, when you see something wrong, at least what you do is you take it in. Now I will say this: sometimes you take it to the wrong person.
Okay, sometimes I'm told to take it to a place that we were going before to get our cars fixed. But I have come to learn that my car is finicky, and my car does not like aftermarket parts. And if it ain't the dealer fixing it, it ain't gonna get fixed.
No, that's not the right word.
It is.
No, it's not. The car ain't finicky.
No,
The car ain't finicky. It's just telling you that you have to take me back to the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Right? So we tried to take it somewhere other than Chevy.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we took it to the neighborhood mechanic, and I like this guy. He's a good guy,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not Chevy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a Chevy truck.
Mm-hmm.
Notice every time we took it to someone other than Chevy, we had to keep going back and keep going back because whatever they fixed only lasted so long.
Right.
But when you took it to Chevy, it may cost
more.
A little more.
Yeah.
But generally they fix it. And if they don't get it right the first time, they'll go back and do it and get it right.
So, in connection with that,
Mm-hmm.
for us to keep these temples
Mm-hmm.
um, in good condition,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's going to cost us more than eating the fast
Woo,
foods,
come on now with your bad
than
self.
eating the quick grab,
And you
than
said you was
eating.
tired. You
I am tired. I
didn't.
really am. I'm tired, y'all. I done had, yeah. But it's going to cost
Mhm.
us more to keep the maintenance,
Right.
keep us healthy, to eat the right foods, to get our exercises, whether we're going to a gym, whether we're downloading the app and working out at home, which is what I do because I don't like to gym. Well, whatever it is, we're going to have to pay something.
Mm-hmm. It's going to cost you more.
It's going to cost us
Right.
more.
It does. It does actually cost
Eating
more
healthy
to eat
is,
eat
yes,
healthy. Yeah.
it's and we have to look at it, it's a sacrifice. We
Mhm.
have to sacrifice the money and the time.
Right. And here's me on my economic empowerment
Mhm.
tip. Some things are a sacrifice, but I think we have to stop using that
Correct.
as the not a crutch,
Mhm.
but as the word, as the go-to word.
Sacrifice.
We
Mhm.
have to think of it more as an investment.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
So
Ooh,
when you
investment.
when you choose the when you choose the route that you know is going to cost higher because you know it's going to be better, it's going to last longer, it's going to be the right thing for you, it's not a sacrifice. You're making the right investment,
Mhm.
right? Um, and so if you want to keep your car running, so that you can keep getting back and forth to work so that you don't break down on the freeway,
Mhm.
you have to make the investment into it, right? Sacrifice feels so bad. It's like, oh man, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But when you
Yeah.
say it's investment, it kind of helps you negotiate or navigate that decision.
Mhm.
If I eat fruits and vegetables, fresh fruits and vegetables, um, let's say from the farmer's market versus Kroger or Publix.
Mhm.
Or no, let me not say that, because a lot of the food that we get from the farmer's market is actually cheaper than the grocery store.
Mhm.
Some of it is more expensive, right? But the whole idea is you're getting the freshest
Freshness.
version
Mhm.
of that food with um, less preservatives, um, less processing.
Mhm.
You want it as close to the way God delivered it as possible.
Mhm.
And oftentimes it does cost more to eat like that.
Mhm.
And it's not a sacrifice, it's an investment in your body,
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
want your body to not break down on your journey,
Mhm.
right? You want your body to be performing at its highest level of efficiency.
Mhm.
And so, and if you want to be able to get up and go when you put the pedal to the metal on your body, you got to put the right stuff in it, right? And it's going to cost more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna cost more.
Yeah. And it's not a sacrifice, it's an investment. So invest in your bodies, invest in your health.
And I would even go a little further. It's like it's a it's your life.
It is your life.
So it's a lifestyle. It's a life. It's changing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, living right.
Mm-hmm.
And people, when you live right, they just assume like it's what you do. Is equating that to living right.
Right.
No, but taking care of yourself is living right also.
Right. Right. Oh, I love it. So living right is synonymous with righteousness, the word we hear in the Bible, righteousness.
Mhm.
And oftentimes when we hear that word, we think of some super spiritual uh, thing being right with God, righteousness.
Mhm.
Well, eating right is being right with God. because there is a right and a wrong way that God prescribed. And we see that we see evidence of that in Genesis, when God said, anything in this garden you may freely eat, but of this one tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you shall not eat. So you see that God does give us instructions on what to eat and what not to eat, right? In that garden, you see all of the stuff that was being grown. He said we can eat all of that. All of that is good for food, he said. It's all good for, and the word he used in that context was meat. It's all good, right? And then we see in the book of Daniel, what is it? Daniel chapter 1, verses 12 through 16, where Daniel told the king, give us, they were trying to feed them the royal diet.
Yeah,
the choice meats and the choice wines, which taste good, and it is it symbolizes wealth and royalty and the upper echelon. So it's going to Buckhead. It's going to it's going to Ruth Chris, and it's going to where else do we go to? I want to say Ocean's 11, but that's a movie. Seasons 52. There is an ocean something.
There is.
Yeah.
Oceanair.
Yeah. It's going to the nicest, fanciest, most upscale restaurant that you can think of. That if you order a steak, it's going to cost you $80 for that steak or $100 for that steak. Yeah, and a glass of wine is going to cost you $20 when you can get a whole bottle for less than $9.
But here's the thing. So yeah, we do that, but just think about you take that money and by all means, we're not saying you can't treat yourself every here now and then, here and there, but for those that are constantly eating out, if you count up how much you're spending in a week just from eating out, and I get it, because time, you're getting home from work, fighting traffic. I get home, I don't want to cook nothing. But if you take that money and just have fruit and vegetable in your house,
oh my goodness! And that,
if you replace that, what you spend every day on takeout and purchase, you have take in. So you have everything you need right there, and you don't have to cook a fancy. You don't have to eat a fancy meal.
Right.
You can just eat an apple.
Right. And listen to this. So in Daniel chapter 1, verse 12, Daniel says, please test your servants for 10 days, talking about him and his buddies. He said, give us nothing but vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then compare our appearance with that of the young men who eat the royal food, and treat your servants in accordance with what you see. So he agreed to this and tested them for 10 days. This is where we get the Daniel fast. At the end of the 10 days, they looked healthier and better nourished than any of the young men who ate the royal food. So the guard took away their choice food and the wine they were to drink and gave them vegetables instead. And so, to your point, it's not a sin, to have a steak or to have a nice meal or something like that. But what the Bible is saying is the basic food that God provides is actually better for us. It's going to make us look better. It's going to make us feel better. Your skin is going to look better. Your hair is going to look better. You're going to look younger. You see what I'm saying? And so, and here's the thing. We talk about how expensive it is to eat right, but actually it doesn't even have to be expensive, because I've been testing out my green thumb for about the past 3 years. And now it's very inexpensive to grow a garden, but it does take time.
Yeah.
Right. So now there, what I say could be a sacrifice, because you're going to spend some time working that garden.
Mhm.
You're going to spend some
Mhm.
energy working it. You're going to get frustrated sometimes when it does, you know, when you go out there and you see bugs that ate
Yep.
up the stuff that you planted,
Mhm.
and now you got to get those out and replant.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that food that you grew, not only is it cheaper because it only cost you the
The
seeds,
seeds.
right? So financially, it's uncomparable
Mhm.
how cheap it is. But then when you eat the food that you grew, believe
Tastes
me, it tastes better.
Tastes so much better.
Can I tell you, we've been growing this certain cilantro. I call it the super cilantro.
Yes.
I planted the cilantro sometime last year,
Mhm.
and it took a minute for it to come through. And I was like, is that cilantro ever gonna come
Mhm.
through? And finally it came through. I bought the cilantro. I think I got it from Home Depot or somewhere.
Mhm.
It came through. We ate some off of that cilantro, and that cilantro did not come back. But what I did was, I think I replanted cilantro. Where did I
Mhm.
get those seeds? I got some seeds from somewhere else. No, I know what it was. I know exactly what it was. The first cilantro, I bought it. What do they call it? Pre-grown, so
Yeah, like a bowl.
it was
Yeah.
already started.
Yeah.
That one came and left. The second set of cilantro, I planted the seeds.
Mm.
That cilantro is still coming
Still
through to
going.
this
Mhm.
day.
Yep.
It has survived 3 snowstorms.
Mhm.
I'm talking about snow
Yep.
just buried it,
Yep.
and you thought it was gone. When the snow goes away, that cilantro kept coming through.
Mhm.
And the more we pick it,
The
the more it grows.
Yep.
I call it the super cilantro. Now, guess what? That's evidence of what only God can do. Because I'm not out there doing anything
Mm-mm.
to it.
Nope.
I'm not watering it.
Mm-mm.
I'm not digging around it.
No.
Only thing
No.
I'm doing is pruning it. Like when I see dead leaves, I just, break those off and throw them away. And every time I do that, it just keeps growing
Mhm.
and growing and growing. And that cilantro smells so good.
It's so good.
It tastes it smells better than what you will find in the grocery store.
Yes. Yes. Anybody needs some, just let me know.
And so guess what? Imagine yourself eating the super cilantro that God keeps bringing back. Now, I planted them seeds one time. Them seeds may have cost me $2.50.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been eating cilantro for a whole year now.
That's a whole nother sermon.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a whole nother sermon.
And so now, you can't even compare how much cheaper that is than going to the grocery store and buying cilantro for $2 every time.
That don't last.
You got to keep going back and keep going back and keep going back, throw it out, go back. This cilantro just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming. We probably never have to go buy another cilantro again until we leave this house.
Yeah. We planted tomatoes, and those you can tell the difference. The taste in the tomatoes was different. We planted zucchini.
Mm-hmm.
We even planted watermelon seeds and got 2-3 watermelons.
We had about 6 or 7. 3 of them were good, and the other ones didn't turn out so good.
And I'm telling you, that watermelon was so
good. Yeah.
I mean, it was sweet, and oh my gosh.
And it wasn't even big.
It wasn't able to little bitty
watermelons
things
came up like this.
Yeah.
And again, with the tomatoes, with the watermelons, it seemed like they would never come.
Mm-hmm.
But then one day you wake up and all of a sudden they coming and they keep coming. That watermelon start growing all over the yard.
Mm-hmm. even the jalapenos.
The jalapenos
did very well.
Jalapeno. Jalapeno.
Yeah.
The jalapenos did very well.
Yes. And okay, so we don't have land.
No, this is
people. We don't have land. This is just little thing he set up, built the little boxes, and growing in the backyard. That's it. That's all we did.
Yeah.
But if you don't have time for that, just all you have to do is really think about, if you just sit down and count up the cost. Count up the cost of, and do the comparison on what will it cost me to live or to treat my body right, compared to what society said. Here,
right. So
eat this.
Here's
this.
the real cost. Here's the real cost. The cost difference. I always tell people, especially in real estate, the price of a thing and the cost of a thing are two different things. So a house, the price of a house may be $200,000, but the cost of that house includes not only the price, but it includes the maintenance, the repairs, the utilities, the insurance. It includes all of that, right? That's the interest, the all of that. It includes all of that. That's the cost of the house. The same is true with our diets. The price that we pay at McDonald's is one thing, but the cost of eating at McDonald's all the time is through the roof.
Yep.
Because that's when you find yourself having to go to the doctor and them telling you that you're dealing with obesity and diabetes and stuff that they can't even name.
Yep.
That's the cost of eating cheap, right? Versus if you were eating out of your garden, while it may cost you more in time and patience and a little frustration sometimes, you're not going to spend as much time in the doctor's office.
Right.
And the doctor's office is much more expensive. Every time you go to the doctor, it's going to be at least $200-300.
Tell me about it.
You know, just to go see them. Let alone what they come up with.
Right.
That they say you got to go fix and get checked out and had his blood work done.
Yeah. Do that. And
yeah. That's the cost of eating at McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. I'm naming them all. Popeyes. Yeah. That's the cost. The price, you can get a hamburger. Oh, Checkers was my spot because I knew I can get a hamburger for $2. For the longest time, I could get a hamburger for $1.50. Who can beat that? Until your doctor tells you,
right? Who can beat that?
Yeah. What have you been doing?
Yeah. That's just coming home. I'm sitting at the light trying to cross Wesley Chapel, and Churches is right on the corner. Well, their Tuesday special is 2 pieces of chicken for $1.99.
Oh Lord!
Yeah, I started to make a U-turn.
It's tempting.
It's so tempting.
It is so tempting.
So tempting because when you're tired and you've been fighting with traffic and you just want to get home and you don't want to do it, you don't want to cook, you don't want to do anything. I just want to, I told him, I just want to go to bed.
Right. So a part of this physical wellness and the stewardship over our bodies has a lot to do with discipline and stewardship over our time. Right. So we've got to make the time and develop the discipline to have the foods available that we should eat when we get those cravings and when we know we don't have time and the energy to cook. If we prep meals,
that's what I was going to go with next.
Right, so that you come home on a Tuesday and you got the empowerment session at 7:30 and you tired, but Tuesday's meal is already sitting in the refrigerator and all you got to do is pull it out and warm it up. And if it's fruits and vegetables, you don't even got to warm those. You don't even got to warm fruit up. You just eat it. So part of it is that discipline. Another part of discipline is exercise, and we've been doing that lately. And listen, when we say exercise, we don't mean kill yourself.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Especially the older you get, you know, you have to adjust your exercise regimen, your exercise routine. You're not going to be able to do at 50, 55, 60 what you were able to do at 20 and 25.
Right.
So stop trying it. Stop trying.
Stop killing yourself. Right.
But don't not do anything. Keep your body moving.
Yeah.
If it's nothing but stretching, if it's nothing but pick them up, put them down, pick them up, put them down, nothing but taking a walk, you know, keep your body moving every day.
Yeah. My nutritionist, this year's been a mess with doctors, but I had to go see a nutritionist, y'all, because, you know, I'm told I'm pre-diabetic. I'm on the border. Like, I don't even eat bad.
Well, the thing is, and you don't
something happened.
Yeah. Well,
and I get it, because for me, you know, with Perry going on and whatnot, so my body is changing. But she said if you do 10 minutes of something, 10 minutes of something every day, you won't have to take diabetes medicine.
Yeah.
You can get off of blood pressure medicine.
Right.
10 minutes of something every day.
Craziest thing. You know, I've been dealing with these sinus issues.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed is that when my nose could be literally stopped up.
Mm-hmm.
But if I start working out, it just opens up.
Mm-hmm.
After all of the sprays and this, that, and the other, that wouldn't work. To pass time, I started working out, just doing some push-ups, doing some jumping jacks, doing something, whatever. All of a sudden, your nose started opening up. And I'm thinking, God, are you being funny right now? You saying, if I want to breathe, I need to exercise. So, I heard, what's his name? Eric Thomas say, you got to want something as bad as you want to breathe. And he gave an analogy of him of someone talking to a mentor, and he told him that he wanted something. He said, "Do you want it bad enough?" And he had him walking out into the ocean, right? And then I guess he went down under the water, and he held him down until the person just started, fighting to come up. And he said, that feeling right there, he said, what did you feel? He said, all I felt was I want to breathe. He said, whatever it is you want, you got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. And if you want to be well, you have to want it as bad as you want to breathe. Imagine you can't breathe. And that's my situation when I'm dealing with those sinus issues. It's like, I can't breathe. But then when I start working out, all of a sudden my nasal passages open up, and it's like, okay, if you want to breathe, then exercise.
Yeah. And again, like you said before, you don't have to be strenuous. You don't have to be, that used to be me. I used to go just dive in there, and I'm working, 45 minutes. And it's like the next day I can't even walk.
Like 110% or nothing.
Like, oh no, I'm not doing this.
Right.
And so now I am getting into a routine that before I go to bed, I think I downloaded this app, and it's giving me my workouts every day. And I think that the longest workout I've done maybe is 19 minutes. That, and 10 minutes can seem like a lot of time, especially when you don't want to do it. But if you just, I make myself, even if we go out to dinner, I would come home and do my little workout before we go to bed, because I know it's a reason that I have to do this.
Right.
And I know I'm not going to be on anybody's medication for the rest of my life. You're not going to label me with the illness. That's not going to happen. So I'm going to do whatever I need to do. I'm going to invest in me, do whatever I need to do to get my body back on track.
Right. And I like the way you said you when you do it when you get home before you go to bed. You have to find your time.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, because I have the privilege of working from home, and I have this puppy, I kill two birds with one stone. The puppy want to go outside, so on my lunch break at 12, this is what we've been doing for the past 2 weeks now, consistently at 12 or my lunch break. I'll get up and I'll take her for a walk, and we'll go one time around the neighborhood, just around, and then the second time there's a park, a pavilion where the swimming pool is. We'll stop there, and then I'll do my workout, which takes literally between 7 and 10 minutes, the whole workout, and it's a good one too. It ain't no punk workout. You can get it in 7 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There's an app that I downloaded as well about they suck you in because they show you these men over 50 that's ripped. the sexy granddad. That's what they call them. So I'm going for the sexy granddad look.
Oh my goodness!
And it's and there's a 7 minutes. They suck you in and say 7 minutes, then they hit you with a 15-minute one. You be like, nah, man, it's supposed to be 7.
7 minutes, no.
But once you start, that's all you need. Once you get started, then it's like, okay, I can't stop now.
Yeah.
And because it's only 7 to 15 minutes, I'm good to come back the next day. You see what I'm saying? I don't mind coming back the next day. I didn't hurt myself to where now I can't even get out of bed for 3 days.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. That used to happen to me. And I think that's another deterrent is when you feel that, like, the saying is no pain, no gain. Yeah, I was back in the day. I ain't got to feel all that. My little workouts, I can break out in a little sweat.
Hey, Patrice. Hey, cousin.
Hey, I can break out in a little sweat. But even if you just go for a walk, just go for a walk. Do something for 10 minutes consistently for 28 days.
28 days. Okay, that's the challenge.
28 days consistently. You can go on YouTube and find all kinds of stuff to do.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, this is for people that might be even physically challenged. Just go outside and breathe that fresh air and get that sunlight. If you walk in the fresh air, so this is different than going to LA Fitness, because you go to LA Fitness and you got all the equipment, all the machines, but there's something about being outside in God's air and under his sunlight. He has provided everything. That fresh air and that vitamin D, along with you walking, getting them lungs pumping, that is a healer in and of itself. You would be surprised how water, air, and sunlight are is God's number one prescription. Right? Oh, let me add the last one on: rest. What? Okay, so Daniel said fruits. He said vegetables for 10 days. We say fruits and vegetables, right? Can't go wrong with whatever God produces. All we have to do is be a part of that process in cultivating cultivating whatever the produce is going to be. So as far as diet, fruits, vegetables, and water, can't go wrong with that. You really don't need anything else. Everything else is an added bonus. So yeah, if you want some fish, that's fine. Yeah, we love fish. Whatever it is, if you want a steak, some chicken every now and then, that's fine. But your basic, that all God requires: fruits, vegetables, water. He said, with those 3 things, you'll be fine as far as your diet is concerned. And then as far as exercise, if you can get up and get out the house and walk in the fresh air in the sunlight, you just don't even know, right? And then the last thing is rest. fruit, vegetable, water, fresh air and sunlight, and rest. I guarantee you that will heal you of almost any ailment that you have,
Mm. Mm.
right? These are the things that we also have challenges with, however.
Yeah.
Because if we have cravings, it's going to be hard for us at first to stick to just fruits and vegetables
Mhm.
and water
Mhm.
because we've tasted everything. We've tasted. Oh, I could taste a. I could taste a good steak right now. I could. Ooh, I love fried catfish, not just any cat.
Mhm.
I love
Yeah.
corned beef sandwiches.
Mhm.
What else? What else I love?
Cookies.
Oh my God! They used to call me the Cookie Monster. Don't leave no bag of cookies around me.
Mm.
Oh, that's another thing. If you have those type of cravings, the best thing to do is don't even bring it in the house.
Don't.
Don't even bring it in the house
Mm-mm.
because out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
If it ain't there, I won't eat it because I'm too lazy to go get it. Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Except for them peanut butter cookies that was at Publix, I would go up. I would get up out of bed to go get those cookies.
The vegan ones.
They say vegan on.
Yeah.
Don't let those labels fool you. These cookies at Publix.
They vegan. They
They
say
say
they
vegan.
vegan.
They say they
that's
vegan.
what
And
yeah.
I ate so many of them.
You
I
took
be-
away the vegan. God. Jeez.
Man,
Yeah.
notice I haven't had those cookies.
No.
I haven't had
I
those
stopped
cookies
buying it.
at all this year.
Mhm.
And we're already in March.
Yep.
Haven't even looked at them cookies.
Stop buying it.
Now,
Yeah.
food, fruits, vegetables, water. You can do it.
Mhm.
Exercise. You don't have to kill yourself.
Mm-mm.
Just get out.
Simple.
My mantra for this year is every good day I'm going to get out. So as long as it's not raining
Mhm.
or freezing, I'm going to get out there.
Mhm.
And as the summer comes, I'm going to have to get out earlier. You know, I can't go at 12 noon because it's going to be too hot.
Yeah.
So I'll get out when the sun comes up. Best time ever, actually. While the sun is coming out, the dew is still fresh. Breathing that air, it's going to heal your lungs. It's going to heal your body.
Yeah.
And then that rest. Now
that's key.
That is key, and it's also a challenge
Mhm.
because we like to go, go, go.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we go so hard. And I'm not talking about you and I,
Mhm.
just people in general. We go so hard that God has to literally sit us down.
Oh yeah, and He will.
So sometimes we're dealing with illnesses and ailments that aren't because we eating bad or aren't because we're not exercising.
Mhm.
It's because we're doing too much.
Yeah.
And God requires rest. And that's why even in the very beginning, the first part of the Bible, in Genesis, he institutes a day of rest.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
said in 6 days, he did all his work. On the seventh day, he rested. And so I'm not even here to get into an argument about
What day?
what day that is, you know, arguing. We worried about the wrong things, arguing about whether that's Saturday or Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Some people say it's Friday, some people say it's Saturday, other people say it's Sunday, and God didn't say neither one of them days. He just said the seventh day,
Mhm.
right? And your seventh day might be different than my seventh day.
Right.
It's all based on when you start working.
Mhm.
And for some people who don't even work, you do it any day.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? He said 6 days you shall work, and on the seventh day you rest.
Mhm.
And so in our culture, in our community, for the most part in America, our work week starts on a Monday,
Mhm.
right? So we work Monday. If your work week starts on a Monday, then you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then Sunday would be that seventh day,
Mhm.
right? Other people choose to use that what I just named is based on what they call a Gregorian calendar, but other people who know the spiritual or astrological calendar, there's a connection between those two. The first day is actually Sunday. That's the sun. This is astronomy. When the sun comes up, that's the first day. If that's the day that you're counting as the first day, then Saturday
Saturday.
is the seventh day,
Mhm.
right? But that's if you start working on that day.
Mhm.
Jewish culture, what they consider a day, is different than what we consider day.
Mhm.
Like a lot of their days actually start what we call night.
Mhm.
So after the sun goes down, that's actually when the day starts. So the first thing you do is go to sleep.
Mhm.
You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then you wake up, and then that's the first day, right? And so when you think in terms of that, um, your and I think don't quote me on this, and I'm saying this because of different cultures that I work with in
Mhm.
corporate America. Um, they start shutting down on Friday.
Mhm.
You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
My whole point to this is it doesn't matter. What really matters is that you do it.
Right.
Is that you do honor what God instituted and take that rest.
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you who's really bad at it: pastors and preachers,
Oh yeah.
because we're also in ministry, and I know when you're in ministry and have a full time job, um, we forget that we also need to have that day of rest.
Mhm.
But what happens is we're working in corporate America or on your job or on your business Monday through Friday, and then we're preparing for Sunday, and we think Sunday is that day, but not for a pastor and preacher.
Mm-mm.
You're working harder that day than you do on Monday through Friday.
Right.
That's not
Right.
your day of rest. That's your day of serving the people.
Mhm.
You feel what I'm saying? So those days you don't even rest. My old pastor, Dr. Pelt, God rest his soul, he took his day on Monday
Mhm.
because he knew Sunday wasn't it.
Yeah.
But you couldn't contact him on Monday. If you needed to speak with him, you had to wait until Tuesday
Mhm.
because he needed at least one day of rest,
Yeah.
right? And so we never did get caught up on which day it was. But what you better get caught up on is that you have a day, or else you're going to wear your body down,
Mhm.
and you're going to end up checking out of here a lot sooner than you really need to. And again, what really does get sacrificed at that point is the vision and your purpose.
Mhm. Mhm. Then the other part is not the other part of rest is actually going to bed
Mm-hmm.
at a decent time,
Mm-hmm.
and getting at least 7 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At least. I don't know if I get 7 hours of sleep, but I try to
I'm
because I have found that after my little workouts at night, it really relaxes me so I can go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in the bed 10, no later than 11 o'clock. I'm asleep.
You just said something. When we say rest, please make sure you're actually resting,
Mhm.
because I'm bad at this. I may be laying there, but my mind is
Mhm.
going
Yep.
100 miles an hour all through the night.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not getting 7 hours of sleep. I might
Mhm.
get 4 or 5 because I'm up thinking about this and
Yeah.
thinking about that. That is not rest. So we gotta, we have to train ourselves. Uh, we have to apply discipline to resting as well. Like
Mhm.
somehow we got to be able to come to a place where we shut everything off.
Yep.
When we say rest not only your body,
mind.
but you got to rest your mind.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, we just got a new stove.
Mhm.
old stove started acting up, so we got a new stove. When I was reading the instructions on this stove, and I realized that this stove has a feature for the Jewish Sabbath
Yep.
day.
Sure does.
That stove will literally cut off. You can't do
You
nothing
can't do
on that
nothing with
stove
it.
during the Sabbath. It won't let you. So
Nope.
if you didn't cook whatever day Sabbath day is, if you didn't cook the day before,
You out of luck.
you out of luck. The stove won't let you
The
cook.
stove won't cook. That's something that that is crazy. It was like, are you serious? And so we thought like maybe it was another version of the stove, but we actually found the setting in the stove where you can turn the stove off and set it like this is the Sabbath. You can't use it.
The stove won't let you cook.
The stove.
and nobody in your house. So let's say you got guests and they don't know that you're practicing the Sabbath.
Yeah.
And they come over and try to cut your stove on.
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
Don't nothing work in this house
Mm-mm.
on the Sabbath day.
No, nothing. That was crazy to us.
Don't even think about it.
I mean, so now it's you have no other choice.
Right.
And really all of this is to honor God.
Right.
All of when you put it all together, it's to honor God. And you're honoring God with the temple that He has created and provided life to.
Can I tell you that fasting is also a form of rest?
Yep.
So and the reason I bring that up is because we laugh about the stove not working on the Sabbath day. They also do fast during a certain period. During that period, fasting is actually resting your digestive system. Everything in your body needs to rest at some point, right? So even the reason sometimes we really should fast like that at least once a week, right? To give our digestive system a chance to rest. Because for some of us, it done got tired of us.
It's like, oh, eat this no more.
You're just eating to be eating at this point.
Stop giving this to me.
And now I got to try to work this down, and I'm tired, and I ain't got the other stuff out yet. And here you come put some more. We got to give it a rest. We got to give it a rest. You got to rest everything in your body, in your life. Rest your mind. That's my challenge.
The mind.
My mind is my challenge.
Yeah.
And working as well. I think you probably struggle with that too.
What?
Resting from work.
Oh God.
Because we work 9 to 5, and we also have the business, businesses, and we also have this ministry, and it's a challenge to cut everything off at the same time. But
I make myself.
Yeah, we have to do it.
I would leave him in this office. I literally like 9 o'clock, 9:30. I'm done. I'm shutting this computer down. I'm not doing anything else. So you really have to discipline yourself to do that as well in order for you to get the rest that your body requires. Your body, your mind, your spirit, all of it.
Yeah.
It all ties together.
Yeah. So really, that's what we wanted to really launch the month of March with. It's all about physical wellness. This is part of empowerment. It's part of all the empowerment that we're talking about cannot be done if your body ain't working, right? And so we got to honor God with our bodies, right? And that means honor the proper diet, honor the exercise, honor the rest, right? Because we've got to present our bodies as temples, and these temples have to be able to operate like Maseratis, Lamborghinis. We want these temples to operate like Ferraris, Corvettes, you name it. We don't want our temple to be putting around, on I-75 and I-20, and there's a big 18-wheeler right behind you.
And you just drag
and you hit the gas and ain't going nowhere. All you hear is your engine screaming.
Oh my God.
So we gotta treat it right. So it's very important. So we're gonna challenge you all and us too. Right? This is not a finger pointing thing here. These are things that we know we have to work on as well. And sometimes it's not easy. We don't get it right all the time, but we're trying. And that's all we're asking you guys to do, to try it and be consistent. Don't give up. You ain't going to be perfect. When you fall off, get up, dust your knees off and get back on and keep going until you get it to a point where it is a lifestyle and it's not a challenge. Right. But we will challenge you this week. I want to challenge you to try to Change your diet. I know that's a hard one. Try to eat.
Try incorporating.
Okay, there you go. That's a good one.
Try incorporating more fruits,
Right.
more vegetables. Try incorporating that. Your plate should have more vegetables than the meat
Mhm.
and the starch.
Right.
So try incorporating. If
Revo-
you don't eat vegetables, try adding a vegetable. If you eat vegetables, try eating more
Mhm.
vegetables than
Than me.
the meat or the starch or whatever.
Right. She did it much better than I, because I was
Yeah.
gonna just say go for it. Just fruits and vegetables. That's it.
No,
And that's hard.
no.
But you know what though?
I-
Twice we went out
Yeah.
and you had the steak frites.
hmm
What was interesting that I noticed, or the was it a steak salad or steak frites?
I had steak. No, I had steak frites one time.
What was interesting was the size of the little steak frites
Mm-hmm.
was probably about this much.
Yep.
It wasn't a lot at all.
No.
Right? And I'm thinking to myself, that's really how if we're going
It's
to
the
eat
portions.
meat, the salad around it was much bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If we're going to eat it, minimize the amount of meat. You don't really need a lot.
Right.
Really it's just for the taste, actually.
Yeah.
We like to tell ourselves, "Ooh, that's the protein. That's going to keep my muscles strong and this, that, and the other." No, that's not really what's happening. Increase your vegetables, increase your fruit, and gradually decrease the amount of meat.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where I'm going to insert my challenge. Do it over time until you get to a point where you can do at least 1 week fruits and vegetables only. That may take a couple months,
Mm-hmm.
but just mentally gradually reduce the meat until you feel like you don't even need it no more, and see how long you can go just eating fruits and vegetables, whether it be 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, or like Daniel, 10 days, fruits, vegetables, and do the same thing with whatever you drink. Try to get to the point where you're drinking only water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And see if your complexion doesn't change,
Mm-hmm.
if your if your attitude doesn't change.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, your demeanor will change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's my challenge to you guys. And I also want to challenge you guys to share with us
Mm-hmm.
how you're doing, how you plan to honor God with your body.
Yeah.
So,
and don't forget to add in 10 minutes of something.
Mm-hmm.
Walking in place, whether you're walking outside, walking inside, whatever, 10 minutes of movement. Let's
Mm-hmm.
put it like that. 10 minutes of movement of something every day for 28 days.
Yeah. And as we close, I'm going to introduce what we're going to be talking about next week, which I kind of gave you a sneak preview just a minute ago if you caught it. There is a connection between our physical health and our spiritual health.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, start changing that diet, start incorporating the exercise, and watch and see how your attitude changes. Your clarity
Mm-hmm.
will change. So next week we're going to go deeper into food for the soul and the body.
Mm-hmm.
Food for the soul and the body, or I should say food for the body, since we talked about that first, and the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna discuss the connection between what we eat and how it affects both our physical and our spiritual well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So tune in. We're going to talk about how fasting actually does not only affect your body, but it also affects your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Auntie Dora, it's so good to see you on. Listen, I saw your name pop up and immediately I got the word frog. You know what that means. Fully relying on God. Uncle Larry told me to tell you that. Keep relying.
Keep frogging.
Keep frogging. Things are going to be okay. You are going to be okay. Okay?
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you. All right. We're getting ready to log off. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you, cousin. Thank you, auntie. And we look forward to seeing y'all at the same time, same station next week. We love y'all.
Love you.
Good
Good
night.
night.